the inside trading is off the chart. It is so crazy that that's legal. It's so crazy that that's legal. So while that's going on, you're going to get mad at this guy for this. Well, this seems minor.
Dude, you look at... No, that's it. And that's what's so kind of, like, funny about it, is that, like, you think about, dude, the Clintons... Okay, Bill and Hillary Clinton have, since I was a little kid... I mean, since I was, like, 4 or 5 years old, was when he was governor in Arkansas. Their entire career is they were public servants and they ran a charity. And they're worth like $100 million. Barack and Michelle Obama. He goes into the White House. Look at the house he lives in now. It's all just kind of like, oh, how much money can I extract from this pot and get myself wealthy? You don't feel like any sense of... And I will say, the one who I like kind of personally resent the most, which maybe is unfair, but is Obama. Because so many of us did kind of buy into, at least to some degree, the thing he was selling in 2008. And you're like, wait, but you don't feel like have you seen pictures of the house he lives in?
Well, he's got multiple houses. He's got one in Hawaii.
Yeah, right. But I'm talking about the one in Martha's Vineyard.
Joe Rogan's speechless. Now, how often do you see that happen? But when a guest starts peeling back the layers on Obama's post-presidency fortune, the studio goes dead silent. We're talking multi-million-dollar mansions, tax-exempt foundations, and a financial empire that conveniently skyrocketed after leaving office, and it's all happening under the radar. Is this just smart business, or is there something more to it? Before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content like this, all right? Let's get into it. So let's talk numbers. When Obama first entered office, his reported net worth was a modest $3 million fast forward to today, and that number has ballooned to nearly $70 million book deals, speaking engagements. Sure, that explains some of it, but when you start following the money, things get very interesting. Ever wonder why so many wealthy elites suddenly have charitable foundations? It's simple, massive tax breaks, money moves in mysterious ways, and accountability practically non-existent. Joe's guest breaks it down. They present themselves as these caring, relatable figures, but their actions show something very different. Their foundations give them a massive financial advantage while keeping public scrutiny at a distance. And Obama, well, let's just say his foundation is raking in millions while avoiding the tax rates that every day Americans have to deal with, but hey, it's all for charity, right? Then there's the real estate we're talking about, luxury homes in Martha's Vineyard, Washington, D.C., and now a new Hawaiian compound worth nearly $12 million. And here's the kicker. These are the same people warning us about climate change and rising sea levels. The same people advocating for carbon footprint reduction while jetting across the globe in private planes.
But if they're doing things like Gates, for instance, to promote global health, right? So he gets involved and he makes money off. So he sells his stock and then starts talking badly about them.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It's pretty wild.
It's wild stuff. It's wild. It's wild that you can make money, like hundreds of millions of dollars, while you're running a charitable organization.
But if you also think about it, like the hundreds of millions of dollars that these guys make off of that is nothing, because the legislation that they're passing or the policy that they're pushing is making these special interests hundreds of billions of dollars.
Let's be real, if Obama truly believed the oceans were rising, would he really be investing millions into waterfront property? Joe couldn't help but shake his head. And let's not forget the biggest moneymaker in DC insider trading. Ever noticed how politicians seem to magically know which stocks to invest in? The guest on Rogan's show lays it out. The legislation they pass is making their special interest friends billions, and then in return they walk away with millions. It's a cycle, and the people at the top never lose.
Get rid of carried interest. One of the greatest provisions for people like me, to be honest with you. I give up a lot when I run because I knock out the tax code. And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She was a United States Senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump. And I say that about a lot of things. You know, I've heard Hillary complaining about so many different things over the years. Oh, we should have done this. But she's been there for 30 years. She's been doing this stuff. She never changed, and she never will.
Change. So while you're struggling with inflation, guess who's making generational wealth behind closed doors? You guessed it. And if you think calling this out makes you the bad guy, just wait until you see how they use identity politics as a shield. They position themselves as relatable. They talk about struggles, but behind closed doors, it's all about consolidating power and wealth. They preach sacrifice, but never seem to make any themselves. And people are starting to wake up.
I mean, just imagine.
Aren't your girls driving?
They're driving.
Yeah.
But every time they get in a car by themselves, I worry about what assumption is being made by somebody who doesn't know everything about them. The fact that they are good students and polite girls, but maybe they're playing their music a little loud. Maybe somebody sees the back of their head and makes an assumption. I, like so many parents of black kids, have to, that the innocent act of getting a license puts fear in our hearts.
So at this point, Joe Rogan is sitting back stunned. He's not arguing, he's not pushing back, he's just listening. Because when the facts are laid out this clearly, there's really not much left to say. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Obama Foundation is just another tax shelter? Is this just smart business or something deeper? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.